Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're building your ultimate fast-track cheat sheet for the 3 most essential machine learning classification algorithms. Look, whether you're coding a life-saving medical diagnostic tool or honestly just trying to keep spam out of your inbox, mastering these 3 models, logistic regression, decision trees, and random forests, is an absolute non-negotiable for your data science toolkit. So let's get right into it. So think about your data for a second. Are you trying to predict distinct categories or labels, like figuring out if a tumor is benign versus malignant, or if an email is spam versus not spam? If you're trying to predict a continuous number, like a house price, you'd use regression. But when your target answers fall into rigid, distinct buckets, like pass or fail, well, you need a very specific set of tools. Right, let's set our baseline. Classification is the specific machine learning tool we use to automatically solve these exact categorization problems. It's a subset of supervised learning, which basically means we feed the algorithm historical data that already has the correct answers labeled for it. From there, the machine learns the hidden mathematical rules and statistical patterns totally on its own, all so it can categorize brand new, unseen data in the future. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, what is classification? Second, logistic regression basics. Third, branching with decision trees. Fourth, the random forest ensemble, and we'll wrap up with evaluating model performance. Okay, jumping into section 1. What exactly is classification? To get started, standard practice in Python is to import train_test_split from the scikit-learn library. You might be wondering, why do we do this? Well, you should never evaluate a model on the exact same data it used to learn. That is literally like giving a student the answer key right before they take a test. Instead, we always hide 20% of our data as an unseen testing set, while the remaining 80% is used to actually teach the model. And here's a crucial takeaway for you. No matter which of the 3 algorithms we dive into today, they're all going to follow this exact same 3-step workflow. First, we initialize our chosen model. Second, we train it by feeding our features and labeled answers right into the .fit command. And finally, we make it guess the categories of our hidden test data using the .predict command. It really is that streamlined. Moving right along to section 2, logistic regression basics. I know. The word regression is right there in the name, but actually, scratch that. This is purely a classification tool, and it is best used for binary yes or no choices. Instead of drawing a rigid straight line through your data, logistic regression bends the data output into this really elegant mathematical S-shaped curve called a sigmoid function. This lets it calculate an exact probability strictly between 0 and 1. The algorithm then applies a strict structural weight threshold. If the S-curve probability comes out greater than 0.5, bam, it assigns a 1. Otherwise, it assigns a 0. It is incredibly efficient when your data follows nice, predictable patterns. But we all know the real world is messy. So what happens when our data is way more complex? Which brings us to section 3, branching with decision trees. While logistic regression gives us a linear baseline model, a decision tree completely shifts the paradigm. It handles complex, nonlinear relationships smoothly by breaking the data down into smaller subsets based on top priority splitting questions. It doesn't rely on linear math. It relies entirely on logic. You can think of this exactly like a giant flowchart, which makes it amazingly easy to interpret and visualize. The algorithm asks a question, say, is the patient's age over 50? And it branches left for yes and right for no. It keeps asking questions, branching down, and isolating the data further and further until it hits a final clear decision node at the very bottom. We call that bottom node a leaf. But there is a catch. Decision trees have a major vulnerability called overfitting. Left totally unchecked, a tree is just going to keep asking hyper-specific questions until it perfectly memorizes your training data, including all the random useless noise. Going back to our analogy, it's like a student who memorizes a practice exam word for word, but completely bombs the final because they never bothered to learn the underlying concepts. To prevent these overfitting traps when we write our code, we absolutely must use hyperparameters. Setting something like max_depth equals 3 strictly limits how deep our flowchart is allowed to grow. By forcing scikit-learn to stop branching after just 3 levels, we make the tree focus only on the most important, broadest statistical patterns. That keeps it robust and reliable for the real world. Now for the really fun part, section 4, the random forest ensemble. So how do we fix a single, potentially biased decision tree? We team them up. We use the random forest ensemble method, which leverages a democratic voting system to completely prevent those overfitting bugs. Instead of relying on one single tree, we build a whole forest of dozens or hundreds of independent trees. We feed a slightly different random subset of data to each tree. When it's time to make a prediction, every single tree casts a vote on the category, and the majority always wins. When you're setting this up in scikit-learn, translating a parameter like n_estimators equals 100 simply tells your model to construct 100 individual decision trees to vote together. This makes the random forest exceptionally powerful for tackling massive datasets and really complex categorization problems. Finally, let's look at Section 5, Evaluating Model Performance. We've built these incredible models, but how do we prove they actually work? We bring it back to those exact evaluation imports we highlighted at the very start of this explainer. To get a mathematical breakdown of real-world reliability, we need to import accuracy score and classification_report from scikit-learn's metrics module. You just pass your unseen test answers and your model's predictions straight into these scoring functions. Now, accuracy_score gives you a quick percentage, which is great, but you have to be careful. If 99% of patients in a dataset are healthy, a model that lazily guesses healthy every single time is technically 99% accurate, but absolutely useless in practice. That's exactly why the classification report is a real game changer. It breaks down precision, recall, and the F1 score to tell you how truly reliable your model is when you're dealing with messy, uneven data. You now understand the full escalation, from the simple, elegant less curve of logistic regression to the highly interpretable logical flowcharts of decision trees, all the way up to the robust, democratic power of a random forest. So what does this all mean for you? The next time you boot up your Python environment, which algorithm will you actually trust with your data? Are you going to rely on simplicity or the wisdom of the crowd? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.